YouTube was good. It's your boy Politics, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Anytime I post up new content, because somewhere in the world it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Motherfuck 5 o'clock. Some people get off at 3:30. Anyway, so here's the deal, people. Everybody, or let's just say that most people are talking about the whole Katt Wlliams on Club Shay Shay and how he just acts like really just went in on Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, uh, Faison Love, Michael Blackson, and probably a couple other folk that he just pretty much just straight up absolutely just clowned. And then it was, but what a lot of people are actually like really, asking the question why, right? I mean, because some people, some comedians will say that Steve Harvey is not funny, and so for the most part, and to some degree, that may or may not be the case, right? But another case, he gets on this show and he talks about everybody. It kind of reminds me of back in the day, right? When all of the field niggas are out working, right? Doing what they supposed to do. And here come the house nigga fucking with the field niggas. And the first time that they do something, then that house nigga is gonna go run back and tell it to anybody that he feel like it'll listen to him. That's what it actually really seems like to me. Now that I've actually really went back and really looked at some of the stuff, what other people didn't picked out and all that kind of stuff. So let's just actually really talk about this whole joke stealing thing. You know. So my question is this. Tell me one comedian that hasn't stole from somebody. I can tell you two right off. Dave Chappelle and Eddie Griffin. And what's so bad about it, they stole material from the greatest ever. Who's the greatest ever, you may ask? Richard Pryor. Right? So, now a lot of y'all probably are not old enough to know who Richard Pryor is or was, right? Richard Pryor is the greatest of all times. When it comes, put it like this, when it comes to comedy, there's nobody better. And for those of y'all that don't know who the hell Richard Pryor is, go Google him, go on YouTube, type up anything of Richard Pryor that you want, and then a lot of it will show up. Now, as far as what Katt Wlliams said, now he says he has all the respect in the world for Dave Chappelle for what he's doing, as far as like what he's doing for comedy or whatever. But it's just like what I told y'all. Dave Chappelle stole from Richard Pryor. Don't believe me? Go back, watch the Richard Pryor show, where that he was playing the first black president of the United States. That was back in the 70s. I want to say it was either 73 or 75, maybe 1977. Matter of fact, I think it was 1977 when Richard Pryor did the Richard Pryor show. There was a skit in there where he acts like really was portraying himself as the first black president of the United States. Well, let's fast forward it that so to damn near some 20 years later, when Dave Chappelle comes out, does the Chappelle show. I want to say it's the second season, and he did pretty much the exact same thing what Richard Pryor did. It's just the only difference is he gives it a name, Black Bush. All right, and then you had Black Bush, Black Tony Blair, the whole nine, and then so that's one comedian that or the one comedian that not that Katt Wlliams acts like really holds in high regard. But just know that shit, he stole, right? The second comedian is Eddie Griffin. He stole from Richard, right? Again, don't believe me? Go back, watch Richard Pryor live in concert. When his grandma, it was either his mama or his grandma was whooping his ass, right? And then he was like, then you wake up the next morning look like a whelp, right? He said, "Would you be good for 8-9 months, Jack?" And so then he was like, he said, then she fixed it. I said, "Come here, baby." He said, "Nah, you shouldn't do that, goddammit." He said, just sit still now, just sit still. He said, "If you do it again, I'm gonna tear your ass up again." So again, let's fast forward it. Eddie Griffin, dysfunctional family, right? When he was talking about his grandmother was like, leave them belts alone, go out there and get you some of them switches. But again, Richard Pryor said, and Richard Pryor live in concert, 1979, what he said? He said, that's some hell of a child, that's some hell of a psychology for your parents to go get something to beat your own ass with, right? And said, but he said, not to come back with no little switch, because if you did, she go out and get the tree and beat your ass with it, right? So, but anyway, you fast forward it to Eddie Griffin, dysfunctional family. Mama beat his ass. And she started fixing him up, right? He said, "Oh, I got you good right there." Yeah, especially that one right there. That's Richard Pryor all goddamn day long. And then it was the second one that he did. You can tell him I said it, I believe it was, when he was talking about the Chinese people, right? And talk about how quick the Chinese people fuck, right? Well, Richard Pryor said again in the same concert, he was talking about the Chinese. Matter of fact, it was somebody in the audience talking about the Mexicans. So Richard Pryor was like, "Y'all in worse trouble than niggers." He said, "You guys get the pass for white. I can't be fucking with you all." Which that's another topic, right? So basically, he goes on to say, "It's no fun picking on Mexicans. You guys got a country." Right there, he said, then the Chinese over here, you better watch out, boy. I sick them on your ass. So there's a billion Chinese, ain't before the Mexicans, right? And so he said, he thought about was a billion people. And like, Jesus Christ, somebody in China doing some serious fucking. And they said, yeah, they fuck quick too, right? Like, Chukai, right? And so again, Eddie Griffin did the exact same shit in his concert. And I knew some of them people there, right? Were they knew who the hell Richard Pryor was, right? But the thing about it though is this. Nothing was said. I mean, of course, Richard Pryor was in any type of position. Richard Pryor himself wasn't in any type of a position to say, hey, he stole my joke. Eddie Griffin stole my joke. Or Dave Chappelle stole my joke. Or jokes, rather. Right? Whether it was Richard himself or anybody that worked with Richard, right? Nothing came out. Richard didn't raise no type of hell. So my thing is, why is Katt Wlliams, the house nigga, right? Why is he all up in the air off of one goddamn joke, right? And I'm almost about, I'm in agreement to what Michael Blackson said, right? He said Katt Wlliams is smart, right? And I'm just paraphrasing, but he was saying Katt Wlliams is smart, right? Spotlight ain't been on him for a minute, so what do? We go on Club Shay Shay, and which again, I can talk about Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay. Okay, this y'all take that and run with it. So in our case, so in our case, right? Ain't nobody heard from your ass for a minute. So here you figure that you come on this guy's podcast and you want to talk all this shit in the world, right? Shit that people already know. I mean, they're like saying you clown Ricky Smiley when he was on there. You clown Steve Harvey, come out, and then it's the thing about it though, what people fail to understand is this. Just because you out there doing comedy special after comedy special after comedy special, don't necessarily mean that your coworkers, right, have to go out there and do comedy special after comedy special after comedy special. Last time I checked, Ricky Smiley is on the radio every fucking morning. From Monday through Friday, at least for here, 102.1, you can listen to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, right? To my understanding, as far as like Steve Harvey goes, right? To my understanding, he's still the host of Family Feud. Then he got that Judge Steve Harvey thing, and I'm thinking that he probably still got his radio show out there. So in either case, unless this didn't change for Steve Harvey, guess what? Monday through Friday, you can hear Steve Harvey on a radio station somewhere in this country, right? And so people got other gigs besides being on the road doing comedy specials. So again, all that shit what Katt Wlliams is talking about, that's why I titled this show the way that I did it, because he's on the goddamn Meow mix again. 9 times out of 10, he's probably on it harder than what he was when I did the same shit about him a while back. I think it's on my other YouTube channel. But in other case, you get on here and it's almost like, okay, well, you're talking about stuff that people already know, right? So I'm like, over there, we already know about it. Then you're gonna get on there, you're gonna talk about Kim Kardashian again. Who doesn't know that Kim Kardashian is a hoe or was? We already know that Kim has been passed around like a goddamn joint. Okay, so again, you're talking about stuff that people already know, right? And and again, you want to talk about faith, all the lessons. Those y'all that didn't watch the special or watch the podcast, go on YouTube. Katt Wlliams Club Shay Shay. It should pop up right up, right? But the thing is, then you want to sit up here and talk about men in a dress. Okay, you know what? I give you that, right? As a grown man, you shouldn't be walking around here in no doggone dress, right? But again, that's this is how I look at it. That's probably how a lot of people will actually really look at it. But for you to actually really get up there and actually really clown somebody on what the fuck they do, then that's really, you know, I mean, yeah, you can talk about it all. You can talk about it all doggone day long, right? But it's just for the simple fact, you know, don't clown again. Don't clown somebody else's work just because they probably not as working as hard as you. But then again, now that I actually really stop and think about it, you almost got to ask yourself, okay, why are you working so hard? You say you done adopted 10 kids. You got 5 boys and 5 girls, right? And again, I'm pretty sure that you got enough money saved up to actually like really make sure that those kids are actually really taken care of. But then again, I also look at it like this: if the average ordinary, if the so-called average ordinary person can have 10 kids, right? Let's just say you have 10 kids, all of them under the age of, let's just say for shits and giggles, all of them are under the age of 10. Are you gonna get government assistance? You goddamn right you will. Now, not to say that Katt Wlliams is on food stamps, right? But if indeed that's the case, right? He ain't bringing that shit up. He want to talk about everybody else, right? But I'm just like, okay, well, what is it that you're doing? Why are you doing so much of it, right? So, just like I say, everybody for the most part, Katt Wlliams fans and all that kind of stuff, y'all dick riding this motherfucker like it's going out of style, right? And again, like I say, I ain't got no problem with it. But at the same time, you know, anytime when somebody actually really comes out and start talking about shit that for the most part people already know, I'm like, wow, really motherfucker. And then just like I say, he was talking about what Mark Curry did, and then Mark Curry, he gonna come out, well, Steve Harvey stole my Halloween material. I'm just like, okay, well, okay. So you said Steve Harvey stole your Halloween material. So let's just actually really just stop and think about this for a minute, right? If Steve Harvey is older than you, right? So what makes you think that as a black man, right, that was once a black child, right, didn't always have the same, the parents wasn't able to go out and buy a Halloween costume, right? I mean, just like I said, for the most part, you see a lot of these comedians, y'all sit up here and holler about, well, he stole my joke or she stole my joke, knowing damn well with shit like that, a Halloween joke, shit like that, that's motherfucking universal. I mean, because for the most part, right? If you actually really want to go there, hell, I heard DL Hughley say the exact same shit or something similar to the same shit in the Kings of Comedy thing. Everybody's, put like this. Halloween is something that everybody's actually really going to talk about. Hell, I've even talked about Halloween. And I'm just like how motherfuckers get dressed up for Halloween. Or you get dressed up more than usual. Why the fuck you gonna do that when a lot of you motherfuckers, that's all what the fuck y'all do on a daily basis? Depending on what type of fucking job you have, guess what? You gotta go put on a uniform and you gotta go put your game face on. For you female, that means makeup or whatever. Put your hair on. See what I'm saying? Now, if that ain't a motherfucking Halloween costume, I don't know what the fuck is. So you can't sit up here and holler about, well, he stole my Halloween deal. Okay, and then it went from the Halloween to you went from hanging with Mr. Cooper, and then you had Steve Harvey, and they were talking, and when Katt Wlliams was talking about, well, he was the principal. Steve Harvey wasn't the principal; he was a teacher, right? And Mr. Cooper, at one point, he was the basketball coach / teacher. In the other case, if they both played the same character, right? And you know, and let me just put this out here. I'm not acting like, I'm not a Steve Harvey fan. I mean, if he's on, then I'll watch Family Feud. That's probably about as far as it'll go. But my whole deal is this, right? If some put like this, you have to do this the exact same way that you do shit as far as like music goes, right? I done heard the same song being sung by so many damn artists till it's motherfucking ridiculous. Now, do they actually have to really go out there and get permission to sing that particular song? My thing is, I don't know how that copyright shit goes. But the thing about it though is this. If I turn around and sing Jingle Bells, and then somebody else sing Jingle Bells, am I supposed to get mad because they sung Jingle Bells? It could be just for the simple fact that people could be like, yeah, we like how you sing Jingle Bells, but we like it coming better from there, right? So it's pretty much the same thing from what Mark Curry did with hanging with Mr. Cooper versus what Steve Harvey did in his sitcom, right? So motherfuckers. So again, this is all this stuff what Katt Wlliams is talking about. Okay, is almost like, well, dog. What about motherfuckers when they do somebody can do a song and then somebody can do the exact same song, but they do it a little bit better. Not to say that was the case, right? So, so again, all this stuff, that Katt Wlliams was doing it, and then a lot of y'all like, ooh, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll be the first one. I'll tell you, I actually really got into it too, right? And I was just like, oh, wait a minute now. Half of this shit we didn't heard before, if not all of it. So but but then see here, but see here's how this shit works, people. I go right over there in that corner over there, and I can shit on the floor. And just let it sit there. Right? Now eventually, is it gonna stink up the house? Of course. It's shit. That's what the fuck it's supposed to do. But let's just say this, right? You the goddamn fly. What do flies do? They go straight to the shit. Right? Because for one, it's fresh. Right? But then after a while, the shit will dry up, whatever. It ain't nobody finna fuck with it. Now, time passes. Right? And you looking around, you actually really looking around for some shit. This is Katt Wlliams, mind you, right? And then you can really like, oh, that pile of shit. Maybe go over there and stir it up. And guess what? Motherfucker done forgot. Motherfucker, he shit over there already. But it just was a fact. He probably like shifted it around a little bit, and then bam, here come the flies. Here come the flies again. Over there in the shit, right? And then y'all motherfuckers, it's almost like recycling. It's like recycling cardboard almost. So, but just like I say, everybody jump to it. 9 times out of 10, everybody else is still gonna be jumping to it. But I'm look. All what I'm saying is that I'm just letting y'all. This is what's happening, right? Cat, leave the goddamn meow mix alone, there, partner. Okay, you're a human being, not some four-legged furry creature walking around and want to chase mice. But you gonna fuck around. You gonna fuck around. And your ass gonna run into a big ass possum, and you gonna think it's a motherfucking mouse, and that possum gonna whoop your ass. Plain and simple. So hey, look, it is what it is. So with that being said, guess what y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell big dad, tell big person, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross the street, around the corner. Hollis Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.